Actress is going to be playing Snow White in the upcoming Disney live action remake. Rachael Zaeggler made some very weird comments regarding the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. To be clear, I haven't actually seen the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, primarily because what I've heard about the movie makes it sound like one that doesn't interest me. What I've heard makes me think, oh, the relationship between the prince and Snow White seems very problematic. That's because before Snow White goes to sleep, the only interaction the two of them have is when the prince just sings to her. They don't even have a conversation. And then Snow White is telling the dwarves about how great the prince is. Then Snow White falls asleep. The prince just finds her in the woods. He's like, oh, here's the girl that I sang to earlier. Oh, I should kiss her. And then she wakes up, and then the prince and Snow White just ride off into the sunset. They live happily ever after. It's like, wait a minute. The prince and Snow White barely know each other at all. Also, think about this. We, as the audience, know what's going on here, that Snow White fell asleep because she ate the poisoned apple. But if you're the prince in this situation, you don't know what's going on here unless the dwarves told the prince what happened to Snow White. I don't know if that's the case or not. But if the dwarves didn't tell the prince what's going on, then he doesn't know that kissing Snow White will wake her up, and yet he still does it anyway. And also, consent is key. Also, Prince and the Snow White didn't even have one conversation before Snow White fell asleep. And also, it seems to me like the prince is a pretty one-dimensional character. The movie seems pretty simplistic, so it doesn't seem like my thing. But I can say that, hey, this movie's not my cup of tea, not my thing, in a respectful way, while still acknowledging that it's a classic because it's the first Disney theatrical animated movie. The problem with what Rachel Zegler said is that she said it in a smug and condescending way, and thus it's just off putting because the flavor of what she said is, oh, screw that stupid movie. It's so dated. It's such a product of its time. The prince is so creepy. He's a stalker. That's weird. That's weird. It's like, Rachel, I don't even actually disagree. I don't actually disagree with the idea that the original movie is a product of its time or that it's dated, but there's still a way to say that comes off as respectful and acknowledging the original as a classic. But the way you've said it, the tone in your voice, makes it sound like you actively resent the original film, makes it sound like you're just looking down on the original film. Like you're turning up your nose at the original movie. That's not the right way to go about communicating these ideas. And thus, I think Rachel Zegler did not make a very smart decision when she chose to make the comments about the original movie that she did.